Josh Feathers, corporate chef here at Blackberry Farm. It's fall, going into winter. One of the things that we like to make here, we like to harvest the bounty from the mountains around us. So today we're going to make a hunter stew. First thing we want to do, we've got our cubed venison. I've seasoned this with salt and I've placed it on a towel in the refrigerator for about 4 hours just to absorb some of the blood and the water off the meat. You can see a little bit of it right there. Okay, this is going to help us get a nice caramelization on the meat when we sear it in the pan. Alright, so we're going to start with a little bit of bacon fat. We've got an extremely hot pan here. I've turned my flame off underneath to keep us from getting any fire. You can see we got some automatic caramelization on the meat. Once you've got the meat in the pan, then we turn the flame back on. That way the pan maintains its heat. Okay? If you don't do this, then you'll end up with you'll get a nice caramelization on the meat in the beginning, and then it will kind of start to bubble and stew as your pan loses heat. Okay? Give it a stir around. Alright, so we've got our venison brown. Alright, you can see we've got some nice fond in the bottom of the pan, all these brown crispy bits. So what we're going to do, we're going to add our root vegetables in here. Different things. We've got turnips, parsnips, rutabagas. We got some leeks, some pearl onions, some garlic, some onion. We're going to put all this in here, and all the water from all the vegetables is going to pull up all those brown pieces off the bottom of the pan. Alright, so we've been sweating our vegetables. You can see the water started to release from the vegetables and it started to deglaze the pan here. Alright. Now we're going to build in some additional depth of flavor. We're going to add just about 1.5 tablespoons, maybe 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. This is going to add a nice depth of flavor to the stew. We're going to cook this for just a minute, just to get the tomato paste to brown a little bit. Maybe a little pinch of salt in there. Some fresh cracked pepper. As you can tell, our tomato paste is caramelized here on the bottom of the pan. Alright. Which means it's time for some red wine. We're going to put about 1 cup of red wine in here. Something preferably that you're going to match to serve with the dish. So if you're using a Syrah or a Merlot or a Cab, try to have something that's complementary for that. We're going to let the alcohol cook out of this for just a minute. In the meantime, I have a small little sachet here that I've got rosemary, bay leaf, and sage. If you have some thyme, you can use some thyme. Parsley can go well in here, and I'm just going to tie this up in a little bundle so that we can retrieve it out later. Alright, you can tell the wine has started to reduce. It's starting to get look a little thick and viscous. Okay, so we're going to add back in our venison. Give that a stir, kind of get everything incorporated there. Everything's cooking. We're going to add about 1/2 cup of pureed carrot. Now this is carrot that we've cooked with a little bit of butter, just simply with butter and water and pureed. And then finally we're going to add in about 4 cups of venison stock. Now this is stock that we've made from the bones during the butchering process. Obviously if you don't have venison stock, you can use something that again complements the meat that you're using. Chicken stock works nice. It's a nice neutral item. Vegetable stock can work. Beef stock can work. We'll put a lid on this. We'll cover it and we'll let it simmer for about 1.5 hours. So we've been cooking for about 1 hour or so. You can tell we've been cooking really good for about 1 hour. The vegetables are starting to soften up. Meat's starting to become tender. Okay. So next, we're going to add in about a half cup of farro. Farro kind of plays in when I'm cooking game. I try to think of, you know, items that the game may have been eating or maybe part of its diet. So a little bit of farro in there kind of adds some nuttiness to the stew. And then last, I'm going to put just a little bit of red cabbage in there. We're going to cover this and let these two things incorporate into the stew for about another 30 minutes. All right? All right, so we've been cooking for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You can tell the aroma is beautiful. The vegetables have cooked down nicely. The meat is tender. The last thing that I'm going to add, I've got a little bit of sea salt here that we've scented with hemlock and with rosemary. And just a little bit of that in there. And there you have it. Hunter stew.